Avoir.
All right, we are rolling. Welcome to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lodato. I'm the host of the show. Today I am joined by my partner, Lori Lodato, and we are going to talk a little bit about bathroom training, and specifically bathroom training a new puppy. So this is going to be one of those timeless episodes that you can refer back to or forward to depending on your journey with us for some tips and tricks and just regular old practical advice when it comes to bathroom training a puppy. But before we get started, I wanted to re-mention a resource that I mentioned on the last podcast and be a little bit more clear. And also make mention that I will be linking this website to the podcast notes. So wherever you are listening, please check out the notes. But on a last podcast where we talked about our little puppy Rhonda, I had mentioned that I am working with Andrea Rigler, and she's helping me out, coaching me with Frisbee and teaching me some tricks about how to throw better, tricks about how to motivate my dog better. And I mentioned that there was an online resource that I was using, and that resource is on teachable.com. Again, I'll link this in the podcast description, and the name of the training service is BFF Pet Services. So that is available on teachable.com if you're interested in learning more about Andrea Rigler and her offerings virtually. There are some really great online programs on there, as well as just some other, obedience type things on there. So I'll link that, and if you're interested, check it out. If you're into disc, please check out Andrea and what she does. It's absolutely incredible, and I've learned a lot just from working with her and not even ever meeting her in person. So check that out. Mm-hmm. And I also found a really funny meme. You thought it was pretty funny too. And I always find it difficult to describe memes, but the image is a kid going off to school and has his backpack on, and the description is a physically demanding job that works outside in all the elements, evenings, weekends, holidays, with the possibility of getting bit as you're cleaning animal waste while being a couples therapist and never having a clean car. Dog trainers. And the kid goes, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
I'm in.
I'm in. That sounds delightful.
Let's do this forever.
And while I feel as though you can pull a lot of negative attributes out of any type of profession, I do feel like sometimes we are at our wit's end, mentally and physically, with what we do. And yeah, as I said,
can't stop.
We can't stop. And as I said,
because we don't know how to do anything else.
Nope, we don't know how to do anything else. And
I think that all the time. I'm going to be a male woman.
Yeah,
I'm going to be a postal worker.
Yeah, when you're at your wit's end, you want to want to drive a mail truck.
Yeah, I always go for the postal worker.
Yeah, then you definitely might get bit by a dog.
So you get benefits. Yeah, but I know who I would say hi to.
That's true.
For example, because we're on vacation, I was in the kayak ready to push off, and a lady came by with her chocolate lab named Sadie. And Sadie was a little ooga booga. She was a little spooked. And the lady goes, "Do you want to pet her?" And I go, "No, I don't. She seems like she's having a moment." So if your dog has moments or seems unsure, you shouldn't feel pressured to have a stranger you've never met pet them just because you think that you'll socialize your dog. The dog was nervous and weary, and she was I wasn't approaching her or putting my hand out or any of that. She was kind of doing that front paw things, ready to move towards the kayak, but then backing up again. I said, "No, I don't want to pet her."
It was also interesting. It's interesting when your body position is in a compromised state. So when you're bending over and a strange dog comes up to you, your face is not in a good spot if the dog is a little bit nervous. I actually thought about this because I was looking at camping chairs, and I really like the ones that are super small and collapsible and sit on the ground. Do you know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't like those.
And you kind of like rock back on your butt, and it relieves your lower spine. You can just sit, and they're super comfortable. But I was looking at them for using them at dog shows or like up dog events, and in my mind I was like, that's not a good move because I'm going to be sitting pretty low on the ground and there's going to be dogs walking around all over the place. So even though it's a chair that I really like, I'm going to pass on that and try to find something comfortable that sits up a little bit higher. Mm-hmm. Those camping chairs are like...
They're uncomfortable.
They're uncomfortable. We were at a...
Can't get my ass out of it once I get in.
Yeah, it's like you sink down into it and then your spine, your lower spine just kind of...
Nobody needs it.
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't have any support, but you can't support it, because your
Well, you're not getting up quickly.
Yeah, and your pelvis doesn't have anywhere to...
Not unless you're a spring chicken. Then your
true.
ass slides through the little hole. It's not between the back and the seat part.
Mm-hmm. If anybody has a favorite camping chair that they absolutely love... send me a message.
Yeah, you can put that in the trailer.
Yes, I did. I have been working on a little teardrop trailer that I'm pretty psyched about too. Laurie is less than thrilled. She's not the camping type.
No,
but.
That's when I know Leah's trying to kill me.
But again, when I have to do these little overnighters with my dog, it would be great to not have to sleep in the car or on the ground. So, yeah. Getting hooked up. My brother is helping me do a little bit of rehab on a very old teardrop trailer that I've come about. So I'm excited about that. It should be a new adventure with my teardrop trailer that I can pull with my car.
Right.
Anyway, so today we wanted to talk about bathroom training because it's something that every single new puppy owner is going to deal with. Training your dog to go to the bathroom outside and not inside. And one of the things that I will say...
Though some do a wonderful job training their dog to go inside.
Yes, some people really do.
They do, and they like to clean up the pee on the floor.
Yes. Before we get started, I wanted to remind everybody that whenever you're working with your dog to train a behavior or to build up a habit, it doesn't happen overnight. When you have a little 8-week-old puppy, they're not going to learn that going to the bathroom outside is the place to go for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. So we can't get frustrated with the dog if they make quotation marks mistakes.
You should just get frustrated with yourself. No.
Well, I would go a step further and say you or I can get frustrated with ourselves, I think, pretty easily because we know better and we know how to respond. Mm-hmm. But I think for your normal, average, everyday person, really just learn from the mistake that you made. We'll give you some tips here, but realize that it takes dogs time to learn new things. It takes dogs time to build habits, right? So they aren't people. They don't have the same brains swimming around in their head that we do, and we have to keep our expectations reasonable. And if you have an 8-week-old puppy, they are not going to learn in 1 week to go to the bathroom outside. I can remember when Laurie had Buddha, I can tell you all right now, he never had an accident inside the house unless he was sick. And he did get sick quite a bit as a puppy. He had a really sensitive GI tract, and it took us a long time to nail down his food, so that we were feeding him something that agreed with him. So he did have some pretty big blowouts. I remember.
No, he just had 2 bad ones.
Yeah, I remember getting dropped off one night, and I was.
Now he eats everything.
Do you remember that night I came back from Doyle's?
Oh my God! I came home
drunk.
I'm like, what the?
I was drunk. My buddy had dropped me off. I come downstairs, and it was probably like 10:30. Laurie was somewhere, and Buddha was just like swimming in poop.
He was sitting in the corner far away.
No, he was splayed out on the crate. Like both of his arms were up on the sides of it, and he was trying not to step in it. And I just remember putting on my bog boots, getting him outside, and cleaning up
You
this
put on
mess.
the rubber boots.
And I was just like, oh my word. Well, I wasn't expecting this, but it is what it is. So we did have some accidents with Boo Boo when he was little because he, got sick. And puppies get sick too. Even if, they're not Buddha and have GI issues, they get sick. So all that to say, don't beat yourself up if you make mistakes. I can recall when we had Rhonda this summer. She was probably about 3 months old, and I had been doing some training with her, and I thought in my head, I really need to bring her outside, but I really need to change the trash. So I wanted to change the trash, and when I brought her outside, bring the trash out with me so that I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And in the time that it took me to walk inside the closet, grab a trash bag out of the roll of trash bags and come back out, she had peed all over the floor.
And why? Because she wasn't within a 5-foot distance of you.
Yes, and because I had said, oh, let me try to utilize my time, and it just wasn't in the best interest of potty training. So that told me a lot of stuff. It told me that even though she hadn't had an accident in a long time, she wasn't potty trained. At 3.5 months old, your dog is not going to be potty trained. It's your job to manage their time when they're outside the crate. So I'm going to hand over the rant to Lori. She is the master.
I'm not.
Of puppy. Yeah, you're real good with puppies. And hopefully you'll get some juicy little bits of information about potty training and puppies. And maybe at the end we can talk about adult dogs as well. So, shoot.
So, first thing is you need a crate. Second thing is you need a leash and a collar. So, leash, collar, crate, and no heavy bedding inside the crate. And the crate has to be big enough for the dog to stand up and turn around in. The dog must be in a 5-foot radius of you at all times. One could argue this is the same case for an adult dog that you adopt or a younger dog that you adopt, because a lot of the times parents who give up their dogs didn't do any training and the dog isn't bathroom trained, and maybe they gave up that dog because he was peeing all over the house. Pick a bathroom spot, walk your dog to it, and stand there like a statue. Don't keep walking around so your dog starts to read the newspaper and forgets why they were out there in the first place. So just stand there and let the dog walk around in the area you chose and wait for them to go to the bathroom. You can add words like hurry up to your bathroom command, go potty, whatever you want to say in public. I personally don't want to say go potty or go pee. I just can't.
Go pee pee.
Go pee pee.
Go pee pee.
So I just say, go hurry up. And I stand there and I wait for the magic to happen. I do not let the dog pee in one spot and poop in the corner of the yard. That's the only time he'll go poop, is if we walk over to that corner. And I'm like, well, the only reason he's going in that corner is because you walk over to that corner. And if your dog's tearing up the grass, just put the dog on cement and you can use an exercise pen if you need to.
Yeah,
So
I know
if your
we've talked
dog
about
is
that
so
before.
ground focused,
Picking up stuff in their mouth.
yeah, and you just find yourself screaming and frustrated because the dog is just picking up all these items. With Rhonda, we put her on the cement, put her in an exercise pen. I let her go there, but then a week later I had a leash on her and I walked her into the exercise pen and I had her go to the bathroom that way, and then I was able to have her leash walk on the cement and go on the cement. She would just go out there, do the job, and she knew why she was doing it. Don't use a pen in your house for a puppy. Just use a crate. The puppy just learns to jump up, cry, and bark. And keep the crate away from where you're working if you work from home, so that the dog's not up your ass all day where they can see you, because it's not teaching them to be alone. So what
Yeah.
else? The crate.
Another thing that I would mention is it's, to us, really important to get your dog used to being on a leash from puppyhood. And I know that this is in conflict maybe with other trainers and the way that they train a dog, a puppy. And I just want to say,
Why is it?
there are many ways up the mountain.
Why is that? Why do they care about
I've just
the
heard
leash?
that it almost kind of works as a crutch with the owner instead of. We'll talk about it off the podcast.
Why? The people want to know. You just mentioned it.
Okay, I've heard the leash kind of being almost like a crutch, so the dog isn't necessarily engaged with you. You use it as a way to, manage the dog's behavior, but it doesn't build, it doesn't build the engagement because you kind of have that as a tether.
I'm not engaging though.
I know when you're
I want the
trying
dog
to
to
get the
just
dog
pee.
to go. I know.
I'm not looking to sweet eye the dog.
I'm just telling you what is out there.
Hey, good looking. Nope. I just want you to pee and shit.
Okay, so there are different ways to train a puppy. We are huge advocates of using a leash if you have a puppy. So I want my dog to be used to wearing a collar. I want my dog to be used to me handling the collar. I want them to be used to me taking the leash on and off. And I especially want them to be used to going to the bathroom on the leash. I can't tell you how many classes I've done with adult dogs where the owner tells me that the dog refuses to go to the bathroom when the leash is on. Or they'll say...
They need to be loose in a field.
Yeah, they'll say they need to be loose, or they'll say, we have a dog walker come and the dog won't go to the bathroom with the dog walker because they're on a leash. I have even had it go so far as to, I had a class over the summer with somebody who puts their adult dog into the car every single day, 2 times a day, and drives a mile to go to a field to let their dog run so that they can go to the bathroom. And obviously there was other things going on that were problematic, but at the end of the day, that is a enormous inconvenience if you're a dog owner and you're required to do that so that your dog will relieve themselves. So we always get our puppies used to being on a leash from the giddy up. And one of the examples I use a lot is, what if you go on a road trip and you're at a truck stop and you need your dog to go your dog is crying in the car, in the crate, they need to go to the bathroom. You need to be able to put them on the leash and go out on that dirty, disgusting grass that everybody goes to the bathroom on at a truck stop, and you need them to go pretty much immediately so you can get moving again. And if you have to walk for 2 miles and let them read the newspaper before they go to the bathroom, you're going to have a huge problem. So we like to use a leash and a collar or a slip lead. Slip leads are great too for puppies. If you want to use one of those, it's super convenient. But I think that what Laurie also said about utilizing the crate for management is really the backbone of how we train puppies, because puppies won't usually go to the bathroom inside their crate.
Unless you have a Tempur-Pedic bed in there.
Yeah, unless you have to, or if you have a messy puppy. Some puppies are really gross.
And
too.
if you're saying to yourself, oh my God, this puppy is so good with the bathroom. They never go to the bathroom in their crate. This is amazing. 1 week, no accidents. So this last class I was in before break, the lady said this, and I go, oh, okay. So I went in and I pulled she had some pretty nice bedding in there. I'm like, it was a sweet pad, and it was not big enough so the dog could stand up and turn around. It was literally a large wire crate with a huge Tempur-Pedic bed and blankets. And it smelled so bad of urine. And I tore it out and I took off the covers and I said, well, you're going to have to wash these right away. We shrunk the crate down and we went outside, put the dog on a leash, stand in one spot, and we waited for the dog to pee and poop. And another thing about watching the dog go to the bathroom is you know that the dog actually went to the bathroom. You don't put the dog outside and say, well, he must have gone. That's not how it works. You have to bring the dog and watch them. And guess what? Especially with puppies, you want to know what their stool looks like. Dog people are super weird. We always know what our dog's shit looks like. All the time.
Well, it's, to me, the number one way of knowing whether your dog is healthy.
Yeah. Are they sick? Do they have worms? Do they have diarrhea? What do they got? What do they got? We need to know these things. And so if you're just walking around and clean your yard, if a dog trainer is coming to your house and it's a home visit, I do not want to worry about stepping in piles of dog shit while we're there. Like, we're here to do a job, and you have to clean the yard because dogs will just start to eat their own stool. So, guys, if you have a trainer come to your house, help a gal out, especially if you're a house that makes people take their shoes off.
Oh, shoot me now.
Please, for the love of Pete, can you shovel the shit out of your yard? Because I promise I'll do it for you. You got to do it for me. Like, I'm running along and then I slip in some shit. I can't. It really slows progress down.
So another thing I wanted to add.
You need to stand there and watch them.
Yeah, stand there and watch the dog. Better to do it on a leash. When the dog does go to the bathroom, one of the things that we don't do is treat the dog for going to the bathroom. Unless the dog is really nervous or you're in a really new spot. But Laurie never. Because the way that Laurie taught me, which I completely agree with now after years of employing the technique, is it's a self-satisfying act. So I don't know about you, but every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, I'm never like, oh, that was horrid.
Light as a feather.
Yeah, exactly.
Light as a feather.
So feels good for the dog to relieve themselves. So, maybe after they relieve themselves, you can tell them that they're a good boy or girl. You can pet them, tell them that they're awesome. Maybe drop the leash, throw a ball, whatever.
After they go to the bathroom, then play.
Yeah.
This way they know.
But the other thing that Laurie always says is sometimes if your dog, and this is true, because I have seen people do it, because sometimes folks will come to us and they will...
I bring them outside to pee.
Yeah, and they
we go inside the house and the dog looks at me and pees again.
But with the treating the dog when they go to the bathroom, one of the things that Laurie always told me, and I never really believed until I saw it, is sometimes the dog doesn't finish going to the bathroom in anticipation of the food. So, for example, we as humans are terrible with our timing of markers and rewards. We are. If you have worked with us, you know that we like to use the clicker for training. One of the most frustrating things for us as trainers is when somebody has been using the clicker and they're not using it properly, because it's such a powerful tool, but it can turn into a meaningless noise very quickly if we're not utilizing it properly. And for us, we are verbal creatures and dogs aren't. Dogs live in, they pick up on our movements, they pick up on our, everything going on in the environment before they pick up on the sounds coming out of our mouth. So all that to say...
Can you hear the words coming out of my mouth?
If you reach into your pocket to grab a treat, as your dog starts to pee...
They're gonna stop.
They're gonna stop peeing because...
Snacks.
All of a sudden, you have given them that cue, that marker that's telling them that a food reward is coming. So unless you are really good at marking and rewarding behaviors... your dog might not fully eliminate before they start anticipating getting paid, and then you think, oh, they went to the bathroom, and then you bring them back inside and they pee on the carpet. So that's something to be aware of too. And I know, again, there are some trainers that do treat after the dog goes to the bathroom. If you're a trainer that does that, please don't change just because we said so. We're just giving you our opinion. This is how
no trainer would change.
We
all believe in our own
we all believe in our own shiitake. So if you really disagree with us, feel free to have a discussion. I always love a lively debate about treating...
A lively debate on peeing and pooping.
On peeing and pooping outside. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I would love to add to this discussion is, for the most part, people... You have too much crap in your house on the floor to have a puppy. For example, we're sitting in a house that is not our own. Our super gracious friends have allowed us to stay at their place in Falmouth and bring our dogs, which is awesome. Our friends don't have puppies, so this is not a criticism of their design decor, but they have some stuff on the kitchen floor. For example, there's a mat that goes from the inside to the outside. I'm sitting at a kitchen table right now, and there is a big mat that goes underneath the table. There's a mat under the coffee table inside the living room. And if you have a puppy, all of those things need to go, because all of those things your dog can and will pee on, and you might not even know that they did it.
I don't agree.
So, hang on. But one of my favorite things about when you go into a house that has a puppy, Laurie, is you ask them, do you have accidents in here? And they say no. And Laurie starts looking underneath all the mats. She starts looking underneath the mat at the door, at the bath mat, at the mat under the table.
That's true, I do that.
And I would say 7 times out of 10, the dog has peed. And it's not because we don't like stuff on the floor. Like, stuff on the floor is totally cool. But when you have a puppy... I would encourage you to take the stuff off of the floor for the time being so that you can keep an eye on the dog. And Laurie's going to disagree with me because she's going to say, well, the dog has to be within a 5-foot distance of you all the time, so you should know if they're peeing on stuff. But to me, it just makes it easier if you take that first 3 or 4 months and you say, okay, I'm going to take all of the upholstery off of the floor so that I can pay attention the best that I can. And then after the dog is quote-unquote potty trained a little bit better, go back to the way that things were. But for the most part, if we go into a house and there's a little puppy, I like to see not a lot of upholstery. Unless it's like a renting situation and there's a carpet inside a room. Like, there's absolutely nothing that you can do about that.
I won't let a puppy on a carpeted floor.
Yeah.
I just won't because it's too tempting.
Yep.
But as far as the mats, yeah, I do. I lift them up. If the dog has been like mad peeing all over everything for so long and the parents didn't notice, I have them bring the area rug up, and then they have it professionally cleaned because they just don't realize how many times the dog peed all over it. There was another thing too. I forgot what I was gonna say. Something about the crate.
Being small or big enough.
Parents will say, I don't understand. The dog holds its urine from 9 o'clock at night until 4 or 5 in the morning.
Why can't they hold it all day?
Because there's stimulation.
Yeah.
Like when you're sleeping, you're not peeing. But when you're walking around during the day, like how many times do I have to drink? And then you have some nutrition coach that tells you have to drink a gallon of water a day. You'll be pissing your brains out. So if the dog has access to water, he's going to have to pee more, people. And anytime he's stimulated. So after 15 to 20 minutes, especially if you have a small dog, you have to realize what your dog's limit is. Some dogs are 15 to 20 minutes and they need to go back out to the bathroom spot. And some dogs can last a half hour. Another thing too is if you're neurotic about your lawn, make a rock patch in your yard. Your husband will thank you if he's a crazy lawn guy. And then your dogs can piss and poop all over the rocks, and you can bleach the rocks out, and you don't have to worry about your young ones running around in the lawn. So the last class I did, the woman's pregnant, so she's on a timeline. The dog has to be perfect in 9 months. And so we created a situation where she's going to have like a 5x5, 6x4 area of rocks that she brings the dog to every single time, so that the dog will have a tendency to go to the rocks, and you have to do that forever. You have to do it for like a year. So if you're like, this dog needs to learn it faster, well, say that to your kid. Like rip the diaper off and be like, you should know this already. So we give kids and humans so much time to go to the bathroom and learn and slap them in a diaper and then pull-ups. But for a dog, we're like, oh, they need to learn how to be bathroom trained right away. No, you as a human need to learn to pay attention to your dog, put them in the crate, take them out of the crate, put them on a leash, bring them to go to the bathroom, and then party with them, whether it's play or training or whatever. So they know that going to the bathroom is the first step. And then when you go for a walk, you don't worry that your dog has to go to the bathroom and you're not letting them stick their face in every damn tree, bush, or shrubbery. Because you know that you're just there to teach them to walk nicely by your side. You're not worried that they have to go to the bathroom. So it's really just about diligence, and it's the only time you'll hear me say the dog mom. Just be a helicopter mom when it comes to bathroom training. Give your dog the benefit of the doubt. When they're 6 months old, if you want to push the time, so some parents are like, oh my God, my dog wakes up at 6 a.m., which is like a dream for me. If a puppy was waking up at 6 a.m., I'd be thrilled. But every day, try to push it 5 minutes more so that you can try to get more sleep in so the dog adjusts to your schedule. Or bring the puppy out at 5 a.m., let him go to the bathroom, and then put him back in the crate. You know that his crying won't be because he has to go to the bathroom. It's just because he wants to get out of the crate. You just have to be diligent and stick with it. So if you do let them out, don't slap them in the bed with you so that you can sleep for another hour. Let them go to the bathroom and put them back in their crate, and every day try to extend the time more and more. Because that's another question that parents ask me all the time. They want the dog to sleep later. Dogs adjust to the schedule, but you have to try to push it a little bit every day. And you have to learn their cries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Learn the screams.
Yeah, like I have to go now.
Yeah, versus I'm just whining because I'm just annoyed that I'm in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you made a really great point, Laurie, when you were talking about I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, brain fart. No.
That's because she's drinking dry red wine.
I am drinking dry red wine. Oh God, stop. Oh man.
Do you have dry red wine?
Yeah, I do. That is how I order wine at a restaurant.
Yeah. I'll just have the dry red wine. Do you have anything in particular?
Oh man.
Talking about puppies.
Yeah, we're talking about puppies.
Bathroom
We're
training.
talking about bathroom training. We're talking about doing it on a leash, extending the time.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
We're getting old.
I know
This
we are
is
getting old. Ugh.
Could be the red wine.
No, it's not. I haven't had enough.
Do we need to pause this?
No.
Do you think people are laughing at us?
They may be laughing at us.
I think they're laughing.
I think that they are laughing
how
at
can
us.
you even listen to these drunks? How can you even listen to them about bathroom training? And then they're like, oh, there's so much work to bathroom train, but I don't want to keep cleaning pee and poop off the floor.
I know.
So isn't it better to just stick with it than watch the dog pee and poop everywhere?
Well, also regard to the crate, it is really important that the crate's sized properly. So the dog should be able to stand up, turn around, and be comfortable in there. But they shouldn't be able to poop in one corner and go lay down in the other. Yeah, because dogs really won't. Even when we had Rhonda and she was going in the X pen because she liked to put everything in her mouth. She was going in the X pen. If she pooped in one side of the X pen, she wouldn't want to go anywhere near it. So that is a great piece of advice. If you have a wire crate, which you should if you have a puppy, they make those dividers, stick the divider in so that they can't go all the way to Yuma if they go to the bathroom inside the crate. It's a tool to use. If you don't have a divider inside the crate, you can use any number of things like a piece of wood, a piece of plywood. If you're crafty, you can figure it out. But that crate should not be so big that they can go to the bathroom on one side of it and then move to the other and lay down and sleep. Sometimes what? Sorry.
No, it's gone.
It's gone. I know.
I don't know what
oh my God.
Those are the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, the neighbor's dogs are barking, and it's so funny because she was complaining to our... I don't care. She was complaining to our friends that their dogs were barking. Oh my God, and these dogs have done absolutely nothing besides bark the entire time we've been here. Don't shut it. It's hot in here.
I'm shutting it.
Yeah, when you record, you have to turn the fans off, so we had to shut all the fans off, and there's no AC, but it has been beautiful. And next time we come to Cape Cod, I need to get some pastels.
Oh yeah, people in the Cape only wear pastels, and I'm walking around in black.
I don't
It's so that I can match my Rottweiler. No lie.
I know, they all have like coral shorts or like light blue shorts. Who wears light blue shorts?
Or salmon colored.
Yeah, I feel like coral and salmon is
like
similar.
I like salmon, the dish salmon, but when I think of salmon, the color, I don't feel good about it. Not everyone can pull it off.
Not everyone can pull it off, but let me tell you, the first night we were here...
I can't believe I forgot what I was going to say.
I forgot
what I was supposed to be very focused about housebreaking.
I know.
Other dog trainers right now are like, can you believe these two sons of bitches?
I did want to mention tips for adopting an adult dog and working on housebreaking. Go.
It's the same.
I know it's the same, but it's 10 times more frustrating.
Oh, I know what I was going to say now. Okay. The divider in the crate. So I don't know why crates are designed like this. If anyone changes the design, can you please let me know? I'd like to go in on it. Sometimes that divider doesn't reach all the way to the bottom of the tray, and a puppy can get their paw stuck in there. Oh,
yes.
So what I do is I roll up a blanket. I put it in the back, and I make sure that it's squished in between the tray bottom and the divider. Okay, that's it. That's all I had. Do you remember your thought?
I don't remember my thought.
Because if you did,
but it was good.
People would think we're more professional. You're like, oh, Laurie, you had a good point. We were talking about extending bathroom times, and if the dog is loose, they have to go to the bathroom more often. You have to supervise the dog. You can have a rock patch in the yard. I'm trying here, people. I'm getting nothing.
I remember what I was going to say.
Snap-a-doodle.
Okay. It's part of puppy socialization to get your dog on different surfaces. So, for example, at our place, we have a pool that has been filled in with gravel. And all of our dogs, from the minute that they come to us, learn how to go to the bathroom on the rocks. Because for us, it's the easiest way for us to clean our yard. So when they go to the bathroom on the rocks, we can bleach them, we can use the yard cleaner, we can, whatever. Because puppies get sick, and we have a lot of puppies coming in and out, and we don't want to have their poop and pee just hanging out for the other dogs that are around.
It's disgusting. I clean it right away.
Yeah, so most people don't have that. Cause it's
luxury?
I wouldn't call it a luxury.
Rocks are a luxury.
Yeah, rocks are a luxury. But... yes, of course you can build in different little features to your yard if you're able to do that. But also, it's super frustrating when your dog won't go to the bathroom anywhere outside. So
he'll only go in my backyard?
Yeah, he'll only go in my backyard. He'll only go on the grass. Most of the time it's like they'll only go on the grass, or they'll only go when they're off the leash, or they'll only go here or there, or they'll only go on the mulch. Bring your dog to different places so that they learn that it doesn't matter where they are outside as long as they are outside to go to the bathroom. Because again, you're probably not always going to be in the same spot with your dog. And if you do train your dog in such a way where they just get so used to being in their environment that they can't cope when they're outside of their environment, it's going to make your life like really miserable. So we have a dog named Ruben. And he has a hard time being in new environments. Even when we came down here, it took him a good day or so to just like stop crying at the bathroom door, or when I went down into the basement.
We'd let him out to go and he wouldn't necessarily go.
Yeah, and he just in general is a pretty anxious dog, right? So when we'd let him out to go to the bathroom, he wasn't going. So it's like, I totally get it if you have a dog that has a little bit of anxiety. But I can seriously tell you that if Ruben was with somebody else, it would be 10 times worse.
Yeah,
so,
I know that for sure.
Yeah, so bring your dog out and about to different places, especially when they're a puppy. Get them on bark mulch, get them on gravel, get them on cement. Bring them anywhere.
Your puppy's going to eat the mulch, guys.
Yeah, they'll eat the mulch.
Whatever, you can wait. You can wait for that.
But just bring them to different places, different surfaces. I know when Laurie has had litters of puppies before, and she has AstroTurf, and she has rubber, and she has cement, and she has all of these different surfaces that she socializes the puppies to, because she wants the puppy to be comfortable no matter what.
I want them to be comfortable on surfaces, but for bathroom,
yeah, for bathroom
I do
training,
rocks
just
and grass only.
outside is the most important.
So when I had a puppy pen, I had rubber on one side, and then I had grass and rock on the other. So I took a metal sheet and I put grass on one side and rocks on the other, and the dogs went to the bathroom there. I was crazy.
Yep.
What else? There was one more thing I was gonna say. Oh, and if people are like, they just won't go, they won't go. Bring the dog out in the morning when they have to go. So a lot of the times you'll be standing in place and a parent starts to get uncomfortable if the dog starts to cry and hit the end of the leash. It's because they have to go and they want you to walk around town. Just stand there and the dog will go to the bathroom because they have to. It's a sure thing in the morning when a puppy has to go. They're going to be less selective than if it's in the afternoon. So I'm glad that I always leash walk Buddha because he goes to the bathroom on leash and I don't have to worry about it during competitions. And if you're a dog trainer, you got to put the dog on a leash. It's just so much easier to walk that line. It's one less thing you have to worry about when you're competing, that your dog has to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So do that and always clean up after your dog.
Yeah, of course. Always clean up after your dog. Yeah, I know because when I go to Frisbee competitions, it's the same thing. I'm really lucky. I have a super productive dog, so he always goes to the bathroom when we're out. But the other thing is, know your dog. If you think your dog has to poop, they do. Stand out there until they do. If you are at a competition and you have an adult dog and you have all this stuff in your head and you're like, I think my dog has to go to the bathroom, they do. Bring your dog out so that they go before you.
You don't want to go in the Frisbee field.
Yeah, before you go into the field or you go into the ring. And, competition is a whole other ball of wax, but you have to get yourself into a rhythm where, you're going to be nervous in competition, or if you're anywhere else, it doesn't have to be competition. Like if you bring your dog or your puppy to somebody else's house or you bring them to a party or something like that, there's going to be different emotions and feelings involved. Don't forget about what you know intrinsically. I know when my dog has to go to the bathroom, so I stand out there until he does. Because I know that if I don't, when we get onto that field, we're going to have a problem. Of course, sometimes there are mistakes made and sometimes your dog is sick or whatever, but...
No, sometimes your dog just has to go.
Yeah, but sometimes your dog just has to go. So know that as well. Great advice Laurie just gave in the mornings. And then also, when you have the opportunity to reward your dog or to praise them for, going to the bathroom quickly, again, we don't do that with food because the dog will anticipate the food in our experience.
Oh, my last dog was fake peeing.
Oh, was he really?
She was squatting and squatting and nothing was coming out, but then she would look at the parent
hey,
come
where's
to
my
front
snack?
And then look and be like, where's the food? So she was fake peeing.
Yeah, they're not
Sorry,
stupid.
I interrupted your thought.
No,
You're never
okay.
going to remember it
It's
now.
okay.
No.
I think we gave
dry
some
red glass of wine in.
really, really good tips
I have one more thing.
Tricks, and please go.
Make sure you bring a crate to your friends' houses when you visit, and you better watch your intact mail when they go into somebody else's house, because even the most trained intact male will lift a leg in somebody's house, especially if they have another dog. And over the years, I've noticed that if people decide they're going to foster or another dog comes into the house, sometimes leg lifting becomes, and marking territory, it's behavioral, it happens more with that other dog in the house. But I'm telling you, if you have an intact male and they lift a leg in a room they never did it in, guys, you have to watch your males. They will lift a leg. There are some female dogs that will lift a leg. Rippa, my Rottweiler, did.
Legs, it was funny.
So, and on a pole, bless her little
Buddha
heart.
will lift his leg, and you won't even know it. He does a drive-by.
Yeah, he does a drive-by, a little leg swoosh to the side, and then that's it.
Deadly.
But I watch him like a hawk, and honest to God, I watch him like a hawk in people's houses. I watch him when we go to training facilities, because I don't know how much urine there is there, or if smells or whatever. Thankfully I'm just super diligent about that stuff.
And the point that you brought up, Laurie, too, lastly, is we have seen our clients who have big, big hearts that have a dog in their home get a foster dog, and suddenly their dog starts to mark inside the house.
Oh,
and it's extremely frustrating, if you have a 3, 4, or 5-year-old dog that hasn't gone pee inside the house for as long as you've owned them, all of a sudden start becoming territorial inside the house. But it's something that happens, and you have to be,
it's not a failure.
It's not a no. It's not a failure, but you have to recognize that you're bringing another animal into the home, where your own animal has made their den. And just if you are fostering, be respectful of your animal. And sometimes the novelty of a new dog will trump your existing dog's habits and their preferences. But don't do that. And additionally, break out that crate. If you're going to foster a dog and you've had your existing dog for a long time, our dogs are 5 years old. They're still well accustomed to being crated. We're in an environment right now where, we leave our little vacation house to go out to dinner and stuff. I crate my Reuben, because once that car pulls into the driveway, I don't want him jumping on the furniture or at the door or anything like that. Buddha is left loose because he doesn't give two craps unless somebody is at the door. Then he is paying attention. So, but he's not reactive behind the door or anything like that. If a car drives by or whatever, he's reactive when we need him to be. So if you have a dog and they are not used to being in the crate and you're going to get a foster, bring that crate back out, because you're going to need it for management, because you don't know what that foster is going to be like once they get inside the house.
You have to give your dog a break from the foster dog. They 100%. Were there first, guys. Yes. And a foster dog won't suffer from you teaching them how to be crate trained. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're on a different subject.
I know, but it also does have to do with bathroom training, because we do hear this a lot, and some of our clients, God bless them, are just extremely big-hearted people, and they bring foster dogs into their home. We see it happen more with male dogs that are existing in the home, and then a new foster is brought in. They can mark specifically around the foster dog's crate if they're using a crate. Yeah. But it can be really frustrating, if you've had a dog for 5 years and all of a sudden they start going to the bathroom inside the house. I feel ya.
It's literally always our fault. Yeah. Unless the dog has a UTI and you see them squatting everywhere and urine is not coming out. Or you just see them squat for a very long time and urine isn't coming out, or they're cleaning and licking themselves a lot. Sometimes that's a sign, or it's a sign of an infection in a male dog if they can't stop going into that area. So, and then of course, sometimes people who aren't used to dogs or they're new-time dog owners, it's to the point where the dog has urine in their blood, and then they definitely have a UTI. So a lot of the times it's behavioral, and very few times it's a UTI, and the urine usually has a very particular odor. So a lot of the times, guys, it's behavioral, and you're not watching your dog. And for the love of Pete, just get a stupid crate. Just get a crate and use it, because you can't watch your dog all the time, and a dog that you were supposed to love very much can very easily become an annoyance, and we want you to love your dog and love to go for walks and have them pee outside. Word.
Yeah, because, a foster dog is hopefully going to find a forever home. And, I remember what I was going to say.
I thought you already remembered.
No, I didn't.
You better go quick before you forget.
I know. We are so bad.
Go,
I was like, this is going to be a 20-minute episode. It's been like 44 minutes.
I know, you do this all the time, and I was hungry.
All right. So, when you take your dog out for a walk, of course, it is an opportunity for them to relieve themselves and go to the bathroom. However, if the sole purpose of you putting the leash on that dog and then going around the block is for them to go to the bathroom, you are going to build bad habits into your leash walk.
The dog's just going to pull everywhere.
The dog's just going to pull everywhere, and then as soon as and you see it, if you go out at 6 o'clock in the morning, you see the Snoopy pajamas, you see the misshapen hair, you see the slippers, you see the person that doesn't have a yard and that rents an apartment and that just needs their dog to go to the bathroom. And I totally get it. But
there's nothing wrong with Snoopy pajamas.
There's nothing wrong with Snoopy pajamas. But
Penguin
if
pajamas,
you are training your dog to pull and be misbehaved on the leash simply so that they will poop and pee so that you can go back inside and make your coffee and go to work, you're going to build those bad habits into your leash walk. So one of the things that I really focus on when I'm teaching my private classes, because I'm a dog walker, I like walking the dog. I know that training behaviors and training tricks and stuff like that is fun. I personally don't find it as fun as somebody like Laurie or Melissa. So my biggest thing is being able to shout out to Melissa, this dog lady on Instagram.
Dog lady.
We miss
at
you, baby.
ABC Dog Training. Is the other one is at Therapy Dog Buddha and
at
FitPet Boston.
And at FPB Talks if you want to follow the podcast on Instagram. But
holla!
I like to train my dogs how to do stuff in nature and how to be well behaved just in general, as every dog trainer does, but I really focus on these things. So one of the things that I start focusing on straight away is a structured walk. I don't focus on it too much with puppies because their attention span is so short, but if you find yourself in the city, if you find yourself needing to X your dog on a leash all the time on the street because you don't have a yard, it's really important to teach your dog when it's time for them to be free to go to the bathroom and sniff and poop and pee, and when it's time to start moving again. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but it's an important point because, again, if the only time you take your dog out on that leash is to walk around the block and let them pull you so that they can go to the bathroom, A, they're going to read the newspaper, so they're not going to go to the bathroom straight away.
They're not going to go, they're going to pee in your house.
Yep.
Then
and
what's going to happen?
B,
anger.
They're going to potentially develop bad habits when they're on the leash, and teaching things like leash pressure and loose leash walking are going to be difficult. So, structure your loose leash walk if you are using that leash to bring them outside for a quote-unquote walk, but the only thing that you're really trying to accomplish is to get them to poop and pee. Just know that. And when you do bring your dog out, if you're in your Snoopy pajamas, teach them to go to the bathroom in one spot. So you
look great. Don't let
you
anyone
look
tell
great
you
in your
different.
Snoopy pajamas, but
you look great.
Bring them back in the house afterwards. Ready yourself, gussy yourself up.
Gussy yourself up.
Bring your dog.
Put on your makeup like I do and your high heels to face
I have
the day,
never
ladies
seen Laurie
and gentlemen.
put makeup,
Guys can put on their heels as well.
Or makeup as well. Mm-hmm. But be ready to get out there on a loose leash walk so that your dog doesn't develop bad habits. That's what I wanted to say. And with that,
done.
We are signing off again from our little short vacation. We're going to be recording a couple of episodes. We've already recorded one. This is a second. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, let me know.
Yeah, guys, just ask us questions.
I do
We
have
stuff to talk about.
some interest in talking about reactivity. That was our most recent podcast. So hopefully I can get my SHIT together and schedule some episodes specifically
if
with
someone didn't spell
that
it.
is shit.
If somebody didn't get it right away.
Can't spell.
It's
Specifically,
we don't judge here.
We don't judge.
No.
But I would love to sit down with Jamie Whitbeck and Sam O'Brien, talk about not leash reactivity, but reactivity in general, and the most recent podcast that we released.
Will they listen to this and know we called them out?
I hope so. They may or may not, but regardless, I will be reaching out to those ladies to talk about reactive dogs, and I have had conversations with a bunch of people online about that topic, which seems to be
step right up
of interest. But step right up, people.
Maybe
I'm
I'll
here.
Be there. Sometimes
I'm
I
here.
hide.
I have the platform. I pay for it. I don't make much money doing this podcast.
Yeah, because she took away the thing. She
full
should have
fun.
kept the thing.
It's
what
full
was
fun.
the thing?
I was doing the Better Vet plug, which I still could do.
But when people can send.
When people can send what?
Money.
Oh, can send money. Yeah, I took away my Patreon.
You should have.
I know, but I didn't. I just can't keep up, babe. I can't keep up.
I know, because we weren't doing them every week.
I know.
If we start doing them every week, I want $1 for bathroom advice, people. I want $1.
Put some coins in the gumball machine.
How am I supposed to get my coffee in the morning? My dunks.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Toodaloo. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.